Mandee.
I
I
think
mean,
that's you, Katie.
you
I
know,
can't see you.
I don't know. I was having trouble earlier on my Zoom class, and so I decided to restart before we recorded. And Lord help me if it's not just taking my picture every few seconds and it's never in a flattering stance or pic. It's just terrible.
It's
So
entertaining, though.
it's very, it's something. So I'm on, there we go. There's a good picture. I just,
Oh, yeah, that's good.
that's. Anyway, thank you, Betty, for your patience. Um, it has been, I'm glad I found my person. Um, I'm back in school, so it's been quite the week. I was doing school stuff till 9 o'clock last night, and was very tired. But it's good to be back. It's really good to be back. This Mandy struggles. So I'll go ahead and start since Mandy is
Sorry, I was messing
microphoning.
with my microphone.
Mandy is microphoning. What I was, if you follow us on at all, well, at all, but then we talked about it last week, you will know that Mandy got stuck in an elevator.
Yes, she did.
And so I was on the elevator to the basement floor of the library, the Pitts Theological Library at Candler School of Theology. Actually, I was trying to come back upstairs. I had finished my online class that I take when I'm on campus. I was trying to come back up and I got on the elevator because, yes, I'm lazy. I don't go upstairs unless I have to. And I also didn't have on stair shoes. I had on
That's
some
fair.
some heels. And so I got on the elevator and it started dinging at me. And the door closed and I pressed the button and nothing happened. And I was like, "Oh, Mandy,
Uh-oh.
I swear to you, you have rubbed off your bad mojo has rubbed off on me." So I hit
Oh,
the
no.
door open button, and thankfully, I could get it open just enough to get back out before it closed again.
Oh, Lord. Elevators,
So
man.
I know I took the stairs up and I turned my little key card in for my study room, and I said, "Y'all, I almost got stuck on the elevator." They said, "Oh, again?" And I was like, "Whoa, whoa,
Something you need to disclose to people.
seriously." So I was not very happy about that. And I was using what I like to call the water closet before I went home because it's a long drive. And I got my dress tucked up in my underpinnings. It was actually tucked up in the belt that anyway, it doesn't matter.
For
And it
you,
made me think,
97.
right? It made me, well, I was, yeah, it was cold. I had a lot of underpinnings up under there.
What the hell are underpinnings?
Like,
And a water closet. Y'all, Katie went to pee and her dress got stuck in her
it,
drawers.
it did. Well, it made me think I haven't told some of my favorite stories about working at the Lizard on here, which is,
Geico.
yep, that I went to an interview one time with my dress on backwards. And
Who were you interviewing?
I was interviewing for a promotion to be a supervisor, and it was
So
with this
you were
lady.
interviewing with your boss and your dress
Yes,
was on backwards.
and it was on backwards. And she is
That
very
one,
well put together,
oh yeah, one of those.
one of those. And she called me to her office afterward. I didn't get it that time. I knew I wasn't gonna get it, but I put in for it anyway. That's one of those things in the corporate world. You just, if you eventually want something, you throw your name out there. And so I did. And I went in. She said, "Well, I'm not going to give you the job this time, but I really think you've got potential to be a supervisor. So keep working, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Is it because I didn't have my dress on straight?" And she about fell out of her chair. She really did not know what to do with me. And so, anyway, yep. And then that same dress, the same dress. got tucked up in my pantyhose one day when it was really cold outside. Um I was wearing tights. And I never wore that dress again. I threw it away. It was not a fancy nice dress, but I thought 2 strikes and you're out. So this dress has 1 strike.
Listen, I'm just impressed you're putting on a dress and heels.
Well, the other part of my day yesterday was that my bishop was there. Your bishop, who is also my bishop, was on campus yesterday. And I was a deacon in the chapel yesterday. And so I feel like when I'm serving communion and when my boss is there, when my big boss is on campus, and his wife was with him as well, and she's always very well put together. I feel like I gotta look nice.
Heels, though, man.
Well, I wear more, oh gosh, I wear more wedges. I'm trying to get my camera to work and the pictures just keep getting worse. I don't know why I'm doing this. Anyway.
And I'm nice, and I don't take screenshots of them to post on Instagram later.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure I will get one of my own self. So anyway, that was my day yesterday, and it was just great. Almost
Listen,
got stuck in the elevator and had my underpinnings get all buggled up with my dress.
I want January to be gone from here.
Girl, you ain't
I
kidding.
saw a meme that said something about, so how's your January? And it said it was a long year.
It was like the 45th day of January. I saw one real similar. It was like, well, on this 45th day of January, I was still cold.
I mean, mercy,
I
y'all.
know, right?
Mercy.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm glad you got out of there without
Look.
showing your boss your ass.
Oh, Lord. Could you even imagine if the bishop
I relate to all of this because it all sounds like something I would do for sure.
Lord.
For sure. Although, like, it makes me laugh because it just there's certain people in life who are always so well put together,
Oh, yeah, not
just so
me.
well coiffed,
Yep.
and their hair's never messed up, and they're never like goofy, and like,
Yep.
I don't get it.
It's
I
not
don't
me.
get it at all.
No.
Cannot relate. Well, I had a little reprieve from the craziness and went to St. Simon's.
Yes.
Uh,
I want to hear
round
all about
two,
that.
round two of the trip to St. Simon's was completed on Friday afternoon, and it's been cold here too. About the time I got on the Sydney Linear Bridge, it was 70 degrees. The sun was shining. It was just gorgeous, and so
As you were leaving.
my favorite, no, when I was arriving.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. And my favorite thing to do in those points in time is to roll down the windows and blast some Jason Isbell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's what I did driving into town. So that was nice. And we just hung out for a while at the house, and then we went to a nice dinner at Ember, which is always a good bet on the island.
I have
There,
not been there before.
it's great. It's in a strip mall, and so you're sort of like, what? But they have really good food.
I'll have to go there
I
next
highly
time.
recommend the I can't remember if they call it the green. I think they call it the green pizza. Um,
Okay.
but it's basically like a pizza with salad on top.
Love it.
So good. Um, the first time my Peaches text thread, first time we ever all went to dinner was at Ember, and we all got that, and so now it's like our tradition. So
Love it.
yeah, and then Saturday morning we got up, and Jim, being the overachiever that he is, had built a fire in the fireplace. It was no longer 70 degrees. But he had built a fire in the fireplace and had made breakfast, some marsh hen meal grits.
Look,
And
they're so good.
yeah, they were delicious. And some bacon and some yogurt and fruit. I think Burch did the yogurt and fruit. Jim did the rest. But we just had leisurely morning, and then Burch and I loaded up and headed over to Sea Island, and she and I had a spa day, which was lovely. Um, I will say we got there, I think, listen, a true friend, because if you don't, for those of you that don't know, Sea Island Club is um, there's a hotel, but it's also like a club.
The private
And
club. Yeah.
so you can't go over and do anything unless you are a member of the club or are with a member of the club. And so Burch was kind enough to get her eyebrows waxed so that I could get a massage.
The sacrifices we make for you, Mandee, are
If that's not
just
true, friend, I don't know what is.
astronomical.
In fairness, Burch's favorite part of a spa day is like she likes the treatment well enough, but she really likes all the other stuff, like the steam room and the hot tub, and she likes just the lounging and all that. So it was a sacrifice, but it was also she got to do some of her favorite things too. So, but I think her appointment was at like 10:30 maybe. And so we got there, earlier than most. And by the time we left, there must have been at least 3 girls groups there
Really?
with like 6 or 7 women in each group. It was crowded up in there, but it was fine. She knows the secret hot tub in the fitness area, which is not in the spa area. So anyway, we had a good time.
I mean, I think everybody in their life needs a secret hot tub.
It might have been populated with some older men, but that's okay. We held our own, and
I mean, they loved y'all.
we didn't talk to them. And then we got home and had just enough time to get dressed before some friends came over to have a cocktail before the oyster roast. And again, our buddy Jim, I tell you what, he was overachieving all weekend. He used to be Burch and I would always, her birthday is February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. And mine is February 17th. And so it used to be that she and I would get together in early February every year and do something. And a couple of years ago, Jim was going to take her on a trip, but he texted me and he was like, "Don't plan anything for her birthday."
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay, fine. But anyway, so I think he's sort of like overachieving to treat us as because this has kind of become our birthday get together. But he had all the stuff laid out for the cocktail hour. It was great. Good job, Jimbo.
Good job.
But yeah, and then so the Peaches text thread, which is 2 of Burch's childhood friends. So they all 3 grew up in St. Simon's. Our friend Casey still lives in St. Simon's. She's the one that makes the amazing cookies.
Oh, yeah.
And then our friend Allison, who lives in Brooklyn. And so it was them. And well, no, Casey's husband couldn't come because she had to take one of their boys to a birthday party. But Allison's husband, Dan, was there. And then Burch's neighbors were there. So it was good. It was fun. And then we headed to the oyster roast, which was amazing as always. We picked up Casey's husband, Eric, on the way, and Eric had a great idea because it's sort of set up like there are other food tents set up all around the perimeter of the park. And last year we kind of went to all of those and then we went and ate oysters. But Eric was like, "What are we doing waiting in line for this other food that we can get anytime? Let's go eat some oysters."
Let's do it.
So that's what we did. We camped out at the end of our table. It was cold. It's right there on the river. And so it was really cold with that wind coming off the water, but it was a beautiful night and we ate lots of oysters and had a great time. And then I got up the next morning and drove home. So it was good.
I love it.
Yeah, was glad to do it. Had a good time, had a good visit, good quality time with some good friends. So Got home in time to watch some football.
Yes.
And I'm sure everybody in the world has seen all the Kelsey antics.
I
So
love those men so much. And I haven't listened to the podcast yet. Have you listened to it? New
yeah,
Heights?
I listened to it this morning.
Saving it for the car because I'm in the car so much now.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm saving it for tomorrow morning for the car. So I can't wait to listen. But they're just th- you know, Jason Kelsey is just a girl dad no matter where he goes, and it's so
yeah,
cute.
yeah, yeah. He did say on the podcast that Kylie had said to him, "You be on your best behavior because we're meeting Taylor for the first time." And he was like, listen, he said he gave her a heads up that he was going to take his shirt off and jump out of the suite, and she was like, "Don't you dare!" And we see what happened.
Well, a lot of people are saying, which I really thought it was ironic as well, that everybody gets so mad that everybody shows Taylor. But when Jason Kelsey's up there with his shirt off acting a fool, everybody's like, oh, that's great.
Well, we all know why everybody's
You
getting
know
mad about him
why? I
showing
know.
Taylor.
I
Of course, they're
also think that still 100% Kylie Kelsey would be our friend because that chick was just in a t-shirt and some bean boots and leggings. And I
yeah,
love her so much for that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was awesome. So that was good. So I did that and just working. I did have another thing I don't understand. Uh,
Yes. I don't
Pop
understand
up.
this either.
There's this. I think it's the New York Times maybe that keeps posting an article about these people who paid to go on a 3-year cruise.
Mm-hmm. I don't. I don't. I don't.
I don't think I want to go. I mean, 3 hours is going to be my max.
Yeah. A
You know,
3-hour tour.
yeah, that's really about it. 3 days, not into it.
I'm not into cruising, I don't think.
3 years,
There's no way.
forget about it.
There's no way. One of my favorite nicknames for the old people. Oh, it's the old people home in Macon, Carlisle Place, is they call it the cruise ship you could never get off. And that was my grandmother's worst nightmare. So she never moved out there, even though all her friends wanted her to. She's like, I don't want to be with those people all the time. And I totally respect that and get it. And I feel like it's the same thing. Like, what if I don't like you anymore and want to get off the boat? Like, you
I
can't.
mean, it's like, did you ever do study abroad?
I did not.
When I did study abroad, I studied in Dublin and Prague. And the first weekend we were in Dublin, 8 of us rented 2 cars and drove down the west coast of Ireland. And that's as close to a cruise as I'm
Yeah.
like ever gonna get because I was stuck with these people
Yeah.
in this small space at their whim. And yeah, like
Yeah.
we called it, like we contemplated reverse survivor,
Right.
and just would leave people as we wanted to. We didn't actually do it, but
I was in an hour and 20-minute class yesterday, and there was a girl, I swear to you, that was crawling all over my last nerve. And it was only an hour and 20 minutes.
right, I just the idea. I mean, it's sort of like White Lotus. It's sort of what makes White Lotus so funny. Have you watched White Lotus?
Oh, I need to.
Oh my God, Katie, you have to
Okay.
watch White
All right.
Lotus.
I'll put it on my list. Okay.
But it's the same sort of idea of these people. You're thrown in with these people for, they're just staying at the same hotel for
Yeah.
a weekend or whatever. But you're like stuck with these personalities, and to be on a boat for 3 years, like,
No,
mm,
no,
yeah.
no. I
So
think part of it too is that we've been single too long.
1,000%.
Like it's
My
going
papa
to take
used to
somebody.
tell us that all the time.
Yeah.
Y'all better find you somebody
Mhm.
because you won't get so set in your ways.
Well, it's going to take somebody real special.
Well, as Mary Englebright says, it takes a mighty good husband to be better than no husband at all.
Amen.
And then the sad
Exciting.
part is all these people like invested their whole
Yeah.
life savings into
Yes.
buying this cruise and got snickered out of it. But
How much,
never
do we
mind
know how
that,
much
but
it was?
don't,
Oh, a lot.
right?
A lot.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway. So that's all I have to say about that.
I love that. I love that. Um, so I you I just the Olympic moment this week, I think we need to just give up the ghost that we were only gonna do this intermittently. Like we're in the season now.
It's on like Donkey
It's
Kong.
on. And because there's so many good things on right now. This is normally, after the Super Bowl and between college for me, between college football and like baseball and the Masters, college baseball and the Masters, there's not much to watch because I'm not a real huge basketball fan, although Auburn's doing real well this year. So I've been watching a couple things here and there. So there's normally a dry spell. Well, let me tell you, right now there's all kinds of good stuff. Olympics related. Some of it's summer, getting us ready for this summer. Some of it's just fun winter sports that, you know, will tide us over to the next Winter Olympics, which low key are my favorite. Even though I don't like snow, I don't live near snow, I don't want to be in the snow. I've never made a snowman. Like, that's not my jam. But I like the Winter Olympics because I think I can be a ski jumper. Just saying. So I just wanted to give y'all a couple options that I have seen out in the world that you could watch to get yourself prepared. So the first is right now, and I've been watching it on social media, but I have not watched it because I think Gangwon is in like South Korea, maybe. But the Youth Olympics happen every year because it's such a short window of age that they're qualified to do it. And so they're on until February 1st. So what you could do is get a good snippet of who may be coming up in the Olympics to come. So we can already get to know some of our people. The figure skating nationals, which are always a favorite for me, are the 25th, so tomorrow through the 28th on NBC. So that'll be a good thing to watch. One thing that I love, especially on the socials, is watching college gymnastics. Not to brag, but Suni Lee went to Auburn after winning her gold medals and got us a heap of awards at Auburn before she stepped back so she could go to the Olympics again. So I follow all the Auburn gymnastics stuff, but now is the meet time. Gym dogs, if you're a Georgia fan, they're in full swing. Like it's getting to be a good fix and for your gymnastics stuff.
I
Um,
saw a
mhm.
clip on Instagram and I can't remember, I don't even know that I noticed who it was, where she was a gymnast, but it was a girl getting ready to do her floor routine. And she's like standing in the corner, and there's a woman behind her, like perform. It's like
Yep.
parents with their little
Yeah.
kids, is what it looked like. The woman was doing every move and
Yeah.
singing the song. It was cracking me up.
Yeah, I know, right? Isn't that great? But there's some, just because they're not necessarily on the Olympic team, they are some amazing gymnasts who are in college right now. And so, highly encourage you to catch those. A lot of them are on ESPN and the SEC network, depending on your team and all the things. So, always be on the lookout for those. And then the one that really caught my eye was our downhill skiing phenom and queen of all she surveys, Michaela Schifrin. And I probably butchered the way I spelled her name. But Michaela Schifrin is, if you've watched the Olympics at all, she's been in the Olympics several times now. That girl won her 95th World Cup and has been on 150 World Cup podiums.
How is that possible?
And 95 of them are wins.
How is that possible?
Well, the
She's
World
not
Cup,
111.
well, it's not yearly. It's like World Cup is different events. So there could be 10 or 12 events in a season.
Who the hell can be, who the hell
I
can
know.
win
I know.
10 events in a World Cup? I mean, she's like 18. She's real young.
She's real young, but she wins multiple events and multiple World Cup events every season.
Wow.
So she's a speed skier. So she does all the real fast ones. She's down the hill, like the Super G and I mean, things that I would
Well,
literally kill myself doing.
I'm glad she's won all these World Cups because God bless her, she did not do well at the Olympics.
She didn't. And she's won, I think she and Simone both, the mental health issues that come along with being a superior specimen of an athlete are
Yeah,
real. And, she really did not do well, but she's thrived everywhere else.
yeah.
Um, but my favorite thing that I saw from this 95th World Cup is they gave her, have you ever seen Toddlers and Tiaras or a picture from Toddlers and Tiaras?
No, I
You
have
know
not.
that they put on those little bitty children like 4-foot crowns. They gave her like a 4-foot tiara to wear around the World Cup because it was her 95th, and it was just the cutest little thing. So
Good for her.
I'm real glad that Michaela has had some time. I think too, this last Olympics, her father had just passed away.
Yeah.
So
She
I
was in a
think,
good spot.
yeah, I think, just overall, which again goes back to mental health is so very important. Um,
Which my mental health was improved by the meme going around. I'm sure you saw it. The so the Packers, Green Bay Packers played the 49ers last weekend, and a big old offensive lineman pushed Simone Biles' husband, and
yes.
he fell down. And there was a meme going around saying whatever the offensive lineman's name was, everybody was like, he just did to Simone Biles' husband what we all wanted to do.
Yes. Amen and amen. That did make me giggle. Also, I did see yesterday Michael Phelps had baby number 4. So
I
good for
saw that too.
him.
4 boys.
4 boys at that point. Well, I'm sure his wife, who is beautiful, is like the queen of that house. I hope. Otherwise, she's just living in total chaos all the time with boys everywhere.
Lousy.
I know, right? So those are your Olympic things to just be able to look out, catch them when you can if you don't have anything else to watch or if you need something to look at. I'm real excited about the figure skating. And I'm real excited about those NFL games this weekend too. So that'll be something fun to watch as well.
Yeah, it will be.
So it's my week to do food, and I have 2 things. The first is something we've talked a lot about Burch, and I almost asked her to be a surprise guest, but I'm glad I didn't because my Zoom is just acting a fool today. Um, but when we were talking about recipes from the holidays, she emailed me her grandmother Susie's deviled crab. And, as a treat for myself before I went back to school and started eating healthy again, I made it. And y'all, when I tell you it is like making a giant crab cake, and it's the best thing I've had in a very long time. Now it is a pound of crab meat, and I did get the good stuff. So it's definitely like a special occasion dish. However, it was so flippin' good.
Good.
And, we on here, we talk so much about how we use food, especially to honor our grandmothers. And so I'm very happy to share this recipe with y'all and honor Grandma Susie. Um, you'll see that the directions are a little sparse. And so when I asked Birch about it, she's like, well, you just kind of do it and hope for the best. And I thought, well, that's exactly how, Gogi would leave things out or whatever. So it was kind of that situation. So just, you know, read the directions and cook with your heart. Now, when I was telling her how much I enjoyed it, she said, Jim, the lovely Jim who pampered y'all all weekend, y'all, this was life changing. She said, what he'll do is put an egg on top of it and have it for breakfast. Okay, Jim, I see you. So I
Jim
did
has some good
that.
ideas.
I did that and it was delicious. So, there are good men in this world. Some of them push Simone Biles' husband down, and some of them tell you to put an egg on top of your crab cake. And so it was delicious. What I also made for that was a remoulade sauce. I make remoulade sauce with my heart and whatever's in my pantry. Um, and so I listed the ingredients that went in this time. So mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, ketchup. I'll just measure however much you need and whatever you like for it. I had relish and I didn't have any capers that were open. So I used pickle relish in mine this time. You can use capers, you can use neither. So whatever your heart desires. And I love a sauce. So it's delicious. So I did the double crab with the remoulade sauce on it and an egg for breakfast. Golly, Pete, it was good.
Sounds good.
It was. It was. It's definitely going in my holiday rotation for Christmas next year.
Good.
The other thing I did, because Mandee talked last week about, it is that time of year where teachers have to go a long time without a paycheck. So I thought I would do one that I found very easy. Trader Joe's is a lot more affordable than one would think. And so I was able to get the stuff and just make a sheet pan dinner, which was also very easy. And I've been eating on it all week and it has been delicious. So they have pesto marinated chicken breasts, and I put those down on the cookie sheet. And then I got a package of their little tomatoes and spread those over the top. And then I got the burrata, which I already had, and I shredded that up and put that all over the top. And then I drizzled it with balsamic glaze, which I also had in my refrigerator. And then I just cooked it for 25 minutes at 425. And let me tell you, it has been delicious.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'll finish up the last batch of it tonight. And
And I
then,
love a good sheet pan dinner.
yes. And it was just so easy. You just throw everything on there. And as I think you said this a couple weeks ago or last week, when you just fold up the aluminum foil and throw it in the trash, and that's it.
Right?
So
So cute.
done.
So cute.
Loved it.
Love that.
I did, before you do your favorites, ma'am, I did want to ask, because I saw you posted this, what you thought of my favorite last week, T-Pain.
Yeah, it was good.
Is it not the most surprising? Like, he started singing Journey, and I was like, what the hell is this?
I will say, yes, it was very good. It was very surprising. It was also very auto-tuned.
Yeah.
But that's
He
fine.
the ones that I like the best are American Woman
Mm-hmm.
and War Pigs. Those are my two favorites.
Yeah. 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 But no, it was great. It was it was delightful.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so different and so
Yeah.
fun.
It was delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before I had rolled down the windows and turned on the Jason Isbell. I had to check out the T-Pain
No, right? Loved it.
and regale y'all with my listening.
Oh, and that's the other thing. So I did want Mandee is real good. She's an expert. I need a lesson on how to do a reel on the Instagram because I thought I was doing one and I was really just doing a post with a 30-second video. That's why there were two parts to how to do your bracelet. I
But
hope
you
that
did.
was helpful.
I appreciated the follow-up. Here is where my confusion was laying. Where's my mom when I need her? I was picturing a bracelet with a like clasp.
A hook. Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. This is
And
it's
I could not figure out how that
yeah.
bobby pin was going to help you with that
Yeah,
clasp.
that would not. That needs an extra person, unfortunately.
But no, okay, I appreciated the follow-up. It
Yeah.
helped me understand immensely.
And I love my knee bracelet. So that's a great little site to go on. They've got pretty things.
Well, good. Good, good. Well, speaking of favorites, given all my back and forth and here and yon in the month of January, I had to give a shout out to my Calpac duffel. The brand is Calpac,
Okay.
Calpak. They have all kinds of luggage, but I specifically got a duffel bag from them. It was pre-COVID, I think. And it is just a little workhorse of a duffel bag. And it's not really a duffel. I mean, I use it as my carry-on. You could probably, I mean, if you weren't a almost 50-year-old woman who has to bring all her things with her now, back in the day, I probably could have used it as a duffel bag, like for a weekend. And I can pack like for a night in it. But I have found that I have so many more toiletries these days.
Right.
Um,
I'm currently looking for it to link. So I will have that linked in the favorites.
but it's got a little shoe compartment under the end. It fits over your roller suitcase um, really handily. When I walked in, Burch said that their son, James, had gotten one for Christmas and loved it. My sister has gotten one since I got one. It's just a great little bag. Just a great little bag. Even if it's packed to the gills, it will fit under your seat on an airplane. So just highly recommend the Calpac duffel. I've also heard a lot of people who really swear by their toiletry bag, although I don't have that. But I'm in the market for a new roller carry on, and I'm thinking probably gonna go Calpac for that. But
Yeah, they have some
just
pretty colors.
yeah, they do have some fun colors. I just have a gray, but it's just I highly recommend. It's a good bag. Um, the next thing, so Burch and I were talking about Substack this weekend. She and I were big fans of Google Reader back in the day. Did you ever participate in the Google
Yes.
Reader? Yes, you said.
Yes.
So we lament the fact that we lost, or like it was a sad, sad day when we lost Google Reader. For those of you that aren't familiar with Google Reader, it back in the day when influencers were called bloggers. If you're old enough, if you're old enough to remember
Are
those
we
days,
that? Does that make us old now?
I think so, Katie. I think
Dang
so.
it.
But back in the day, if you had your favorite blogs, when people first started blogging, you would just have to go to their website every day to see if they had posted. And then
Mm-hmm.
eventually these things, I don't know, aggregator, I don't know what they are, were created that you could you could copy their web address into your Google Reader, and then you could just open your Google Reader every morning and see who had
Mm-hmm.
posted and just
Right.
read all of your favorites. Um, and for some reason they got rid of that, and then blogs died. And here we are now with the influencers. But I got on so a lot, like if you go to Substack, and we've talked about several different ones we like. If you go, when you go on there, it asks you to subscribe, and then you'll get an email every time they post something. But I actually went and downloaded the app, and scrolling through the Substack app took me back to Google Reader days.
Yeah. I like the app very much.
Because a lot of times if I get I cannot stand to have an unread notification on my phone.
Oh,
It's awful.
same. I'm OCD.
So I have to open the email, but then I'll forget to go back and read it. And so if you go in the app, then you can just kind of, when you've got a minute or you're wanting to scroll and read something, then you can just scroll through and see all the ones you've subscribed to and read it then.
Right.
So it's like the app is sort of the way to use Substack, I think. It does not solve the conundrum that Birch and I were talking about all this paid content.
Correct.
Um, but I told her so far I've held tough and I haven't paid for anybody's content yet.
So I have
Um,
one that I pay for called Letters of Note because
yeah,
it's
you
great
told
for
us about
sermon
those.
starters for me.
Yeah,
Poetic Outlaws, you can see most of the poetry they post. But there are
yeah,
a few here and there that they won't put. So I think there are a lot too, to your point, where you can see a lot of the content, but just not all of the content.
yeah. Like
Um,
our girl Caro Chambers, she'll like basically walk you through the recipe that she's posting, and just stop short of giving you the recipe. So, if you're familiar enough with cooking, I mean, it'll just give you an idea, even if you don't get the exact
sure,
recipe.
sure.
Um, we were lamenting the fact that our girl Whirl, who we used to read on our Google Reader, like we
Yeah.
go way back with our girl Whirl. She started putting a lot of stuff
Oh,
behind
yeah.
the paywall. But we'll see. And I will say, I think Elizabeth Gilbert was on Glennon Doyle's podcast, and she was talking about her new Substack, and she was saying that she purposefully put the community board and the place where you can comment. She had purposely put that behind a paywall because it filtered out the trolls. And so
Right.
she wanted to have like a safe space for interaction, and that's why she had done that. So I mean, I get that.
Yeah. I have a friend that has one and I subscribe because he's my friend. He's a preacher and, anyway,
Yeah.
we try to support each other.
Right. And like I'm happy, like I've thought about subscribing to Caro Chambers just because
Mhm.
I really like all her recipes, and I
Yeah.
like her philosophy.
One
I'm not opposed to people getting paid
right.
for their work. It's just hard on those of us who, used to have Google Reader
Oh, yeah.
and could
Well,
read
and
everything for free and love all these people. It's just hard to
sure.
pay, for everybody's
It
subscription. So
it is one thing
is
he
one thing
did
he did.
say. Oh, now I'm echoing. Oh, Lord. One thing he did say was that part of the reason that people ask you to pay is because Substack owns your stuff when you put it there. So
And
Substack
I
is
think,
going to
and
be
I,
profiting off of them. So the only way for them to there's no like ads or creator
right.
content fund. The only way for them to get paid because Substack owns their content is if you subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah. And Liz said too, I think it sounded like, at least for her, the way she set up her page, she was saying she set the subscription at the minimum amount it could be. But that Substack had required some sort of subscription amount, had required her to
Right.
do that. So I mean, I get all that.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was mainly that sort of getting on the app was a bit of a revelation to me because it took me back to my Google Reader
Yeah.
days of being able to just pull up whatever I wanted when I wanted, instead of when I get the email.
I really do like the app versus online.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
um, and then the last thing I was going to talk about is it's a new podcast. It's not a new podcast, but it's a new season of a podcast. It's called Proof.
Is it true
And
crime?
it is. Yeah, but it's not like it's going back and investigating an old case.
Okay.
Um,
So it's
and
not the America's Test Kitchen or Live Better for Longer. It
yes,
is
it is.
true
It's true
crime. Okay.
crime. Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna put
Um,
the full title on here so y'all will be able to find it.
find it. It's the first, and if you haven't listened to the first season, I highly recommend you go back and listen. Um, it is about a case in Rome, Georgia.
Oh,
And it has a great payoff at the end. So definitely listen to season one. That's really why I'm recommending it. It's because season two has just started. I think it's been 2 episodes. But you should really go back and listen to season one. It's great, and it's a great payoff, and it's just a feel good story all the way around. So
I am doing that now, so I will have something to listen to in the car.
yes, it's very, very good, very good. And it spanned probably over a year, so there should be a lot of episodes. I can't remember how many there are because I binged it, but um, it's a good one. So
Yay, I'm
recommend.
excited.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so what's in store for you this week?
So this week, I've got one more class tomorrow, and then I'm done, but like I, I'll be reading about Jesus a lot over the weekend, and then I'm gonna try to watch some of that figure skating. I'm really excited about that, and of course the games for the week before the Super Bowl. So I'm excited about that. We've got 2 games on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, so yeah, that's just it. That's gonna be my life for the next few months is reading about Jesus and occasionally getting to watch some sports.
Listen, I'm envious of getting into a routine.
Oh yeah, that's been great. I got my calendar all set up one day. I mean, I'm such a nerdleton, but I did it and I feel so much better about life. One thing I did want to say before I forget, Mandy, is that next week, our sweet, adorable IT guru that gets us on all of the platforms is moving because he's getting married. We said that several weeks ago when he got engaged. He is moving. He and his new little bride, or fiance, I guess at this point, have bought a house and he's moving. So he said, I'm gonna get him the thing next week as quickly as possible. But he said, I don't know what state my computer will be in. He said, but I know that all your listeners. I
Our
said, well,
tens,
we'll let them know.
our tens of listeners.
Well, I think he was mainly laughing at my other podcast, which is Ones and Ones. And so I said, we will let them know that if it's a day late, it's not going to be a big deal. We're real laid back about this. So we're just really happy for JT. He is so kind, always answers my questions, always fixes any issues that I create. And we're just thrilled for him getting a little house and getting married and starting a little family. So
That's
we're
awesome.
so
See if you
excited.
can fix your camera.
Well, that's the next call. How about you, Mandy? What are you doing this week?
Uh, well, I was supposed to be picking up a new pup tomorrow, but little Freddie sliced his foot open
Oh
yesterday.
no.
That has been tabled just because speaking of elevators, my elevator's getting replaced.
Oh, that's nice.
So we're going to be elevator less for about a month at least. And so we were just afraid it'd be hard for that foot to heal if he was having to go up and down stairs all the time.
Yeah.
So put that on hold. I'm actually our friend of the pod, Lee, her mom passed away on Monday. And so I'll be headed to Moultrie on Saturday. We're going to have her service on Sunday.
Are you
Um,
singing in this service?
yes, I will be singing. I'll be singing one thing I'll sing by myself, and then we're also gonna, because we are from Moultrie, we're gonna have a group. It started as thinking it would be like an octet,
Okay.
um, but it's hard to narrow that down in Moultrie because everybody in Moultrie sings.
Yes.
So I'm not even sure. And the more the merrier. Some folks to sing, I imagine it'll be the benediction, the Lord bless you and keep you.
So no
Um,
no T-Pain.
no T-Pain, no.
Okay.
Karen Willis would come up out of that coffin and thump our ears if we did something like that. So yeah, so that'll be nice, and nice to see old friends and celebrate Miss Willis, and I'm sure to get to see lots of good Moultrie folks while I'm there. So yeah, so that's what's sort of on my horizon. And then after that, I don't have anything planned. Knock on all the wood.
Knock it on.
We'll see. We'll see how that lasts. Gonna be keeping our friend Gracie. Susie's going out of town next week. So
Oh, well, maybe she'll do a backflip off the bed for us
listen,
again.
you never know with Gracie. You never know what
Maybe
might be
she'll be
happening.
inspired by Michaela Schifrin or Simone Biles.
I will tell you, she's gonna have to learn to use the stairs. A thing that you don't think about a lot of times when you're a dog owner, um, is stairs. And so, like, if you live in a house that doesn't have stairs,
They don't know how to do it.
they don't know how to do stairs. I never thought about it. My third foster was Dash, who was, when he got to a healthy weight, was 100 pounds. And we went to Nashville for Christmas, and he went right up the stairs with me to go to bed. And the next morning, when we went down the stairs, y'all, that 100-pound dog fell from the top of the stairs to the bottom of the stairs. That boy had never been on stairs before.
Bless it.
And it had never crossed my mind. And so I've run into that with several of my fosters. Like, some of them have just not been exposed to stairs. So, and the same with Gracie. Gracie, Susie has a 1-story house, and Gracie just hasn't ever been exposed to stairs. So I had her, it wasn't during the tornado, although she was over here post tornado when we had to take the stairs. Luckily you can just pick Gracie up. But I had her over here one point and was gonna take her with me on the stairs, and I just went down the stairs, and I turned around.
She was
And
looking at
Gracie
you.
was like hunkered down, like, I am not moving.
I don't know what to do with
It's
it.
happening. Get this too out of my face. Yeah.
Oh,
So Gracie and I are gonna have to I'm gonna have to teach her how to use the stairs, because we're gonna be elevatorless. But anyway, so yeah, that'll be fun.
I
But
love that. I love that.
yeah,
Chandler
I'm
is
just
actually replacing their elevators as well this summer. Um, it's just you never know. And if you've got a class on the fourth floor, I, I'm I'm in a state.
well, I'm on the third, and I'm gonna be elevatorless for at least a month. So listen, my butt's gonna be looking good by the time
It
we're
is. You should call that fireman back.
done. Law.
All right, my friend. Well, I'm sorry my camera wasn't working. I will get that. I've got to get that fixed for classes. But I am glad I got to see your sweet face and I'm glad I got to entertain you with my still shots from my Zoom calls
Or just your name.
or just my name, either way.
Yeah.
Well, friends, Brooke, I hope you're staying warm up there in all the snow. I saw, okay, I wasn't going to put this out there, but I don't think she listened, so I'm going to call her out anyway. I
She
saw the
doesn't.
cutest picture of her husband with their youngest, and her wreath and garland was still up on her house from Christmas. Brooker, it's time. It's time. Epiphany has passed. The wise men have come and gone back another way, avoiding Herod. So it is time to take the garland off to your front door, ma'am. I love you, but let's do that.
Myra Jane would be fussing at her.
I mean, I'm kind of fussing at her. Come on, Brooke. I mean, look, she does have 3 beautiful children and a husband and a house and a job and all the things. She's got all the things, but it's time to take the wreath down, babe.
There you go.
We love you. And we love you too, Burch. And look, don't let Jim get the big head, but tell him we do kind of like him.
Depends on the day.
Yeah.
As long as he hadn't lost his telephone for the 14th time. Or, this is classic. This is classic Jim Barger. Let me tell you. This is not the first time this has happened. They went to a hunting lodge, week before last. It's like the day of the tornado. They were driving to South Carolina, and it's a lodge where Jim worked at one point. Anyway, they got home, and And Burch is just like, she's just so good to roll with this stuff. She's like, we smell our main closet, like it started smelling, and we just assumed, a critter had died in there somewhere. And then Jim remembered that he had put a quail in his
I was about to
pocket.
say, I know what it is. Jim, empty your pockets, buddy.
Oh, and as I said, it's not the first time he's done something like that, nor will it be the last.
Nope. That's why we love you, Jim.
Lord A. All right, y'all. Well, everybody have a great week.
And we'll see you next week. And that was y'all, that's 25 episodes.
Lousy.
25. I know, right? All right. Have a good one. Go find
Bye,
your
y'all.
people.